Chapter 18. Consciousness, Subconsciousness, Superconsciousness, Clairvoyance. Consciousness. That which we call ordinary waking consciousness sleeps profoundly. Ordinary waking consciousness is related with the five senses and the brain. People believe they have an awakened consciousness, and that is absolutely false. People live daily in the most profound sleep. Superconsciousness. Superconsciousness is an attribute of the intimate, the spirit. The faculty of superconsciousness is intuition. It is necessary to compel the superconsciousness to work, in order for intuition to become powerful. Remember, an organ that is not used atrophies. The intuition of people who do not work with their superconsciousness is atrophied. Polyvision is intuitive clairvoyance. It is divine omniscience. This eye is found in the pineal gland. The lotus of 1,000 petals resides there. Superconsciousness resides there. The pineal gland is located in the upper part of the brain. Whoever wants to develop superconsciousness must practice internal meditation. You must concentrate on the Divine Mother who resides in the depths of your being. Meditate upon her. Fall asleep while imploring that she put your superconsciousness into activity. Meditate daily. Meditation is the daily bread of the wise. With meditation you will develop superconsciousness. Memory. You need memory in order to remember internal experiences. Do not spill the semen. Know that in the semen millions of microscopic brain cells exist. You must not lose those cells. Special nourishment to develop the power of memory. Prepare your breakfast with acidic fruits and ground almonds, along with bee honey. In this way you will provide the brain with the necessary atoms for memory. Internal experiences. The ego lives in the internal worlds, and travels to different places while our physical body sleeps. We are tested many times in the internal worlds. We receive initiation in the internal temples. It is necessary to remember everything we do outside the body. With the instructions given in this book, every human being will be able to awaken the consciousness and remember his internal experiences. It is painful to know that there are many initiates who work in the great temples of the White Lodge while their physical body sleeps, but they do not remember anything because their memory is atrophied. Here you have the exercises to develop memory. Practice intensely, compel your subconscious to work. Awaken your consciousness, and put your superconsciousness into activity. Clairvoyance and pseudoclairvoyance. There exists clairvoyance and pseudoclairvoyance. The Gnostic student must make a clear differentiation between these two forms of ultrasensitive perception. Clairvoyance is based on objectivity. Pseudoclairvoyance is based on subjectivity. By objectivity we mean spiritual reality, the spiritual world. Understand that by subjectivity, we mean the physical world, the world of illusion, that which does not have reality. An intermediate region also exists, the astral world, which would appear objective or subjective according to the degree of spiritual development of each person. Pseudoclairvoyance is the name given to imaginary perception, fantasy, artificially evoked hallucinations, absurd dreams, astral visions that don't coincide with concrete facts, the reading of one's own projected unconscious thoughts in the astrolight, the unconscious creation of astral visions, later interpreted as authentic realities, etc. Also included in the field of pseudoclairvoyance are subjective mysticism, false mysticism, pseudomystical states that have no relation whatsoever with intense and clear sentiments, but are close to hysteria and pseudo-magic. In other words, false religious projections projected unconsciously within the astral light, and in general, everything in orthodox literature that is called beauty, seduction. Objective clairvoyance. There are 4 mental states that lead the neophyte to the ineffable summits of objective clairvoyance. First, to sleep profoundly. Second, to sleep with dreams. Third, state of vigilance. Fourth, turiya, or perfect state of illumination. Indeed, only the turiya is an authentic clairvoyant. It is impossible to reach these heights without having been born in the causal world. Whoever wishes to reach the state of turiya must thoroughly study the semi-unconscious psychic processes that, in fact, constitute the origin of many forms of self-deception, autosuggestion, and hypnosis. The Gnostic must first attain the ability to stop the course of his thoughts, the capacity to not think. Only the one who achieves that capacity will truly hear the voice of silence. When the Gnostic disciple attains the capacity to not think, he must then learn to concentrate the mind on only one thing. The third step is correct meditation. This brings the first flashes of the new consciousness to the mind. The fourth step is contemplation, ecstasy, or samadhi. This is the state of turiya, perfect clairvoyance. Clarification. In the Gnostic movement, only a few turiyas exist. We make this clarification. It is necessary to know that with a few very rare exceptions, only pseudo-clairvoyants and subjective mystics exist. In reality, all the mystical schools and all the spiritualist movements are full of deluded pseudo-clairvoyants who cause more harm than good. They are the ones who give themselves the title of master. Among them abound famous reincarnations like the John the Baptists, of whom we know more than a dozen, the Mary Magdalenes, etc. This type of person believes initiation is as easy as blowing bubbles, and based on their supposed mastery, and absurd visions created by their morbid mentality. They prophesy and excommunicate others at their whim, as they please, slandering people and characterizing others as black magicians, asserting that certain people are fallen, etc. The Gnostic movement must cleanse itself of this evil and harmful plague, and therefore we have begun with the expulsion of Mrs. X. We are not willing to continue tolerating the unhealthy morbidity of all those deluded pseudo-clairvoyants, and all those subjective mystics. We propagate spiritual intellectual culture, decency, chivalry, logical analysis, conceptual synthesis, academic culture, high mathematics, philosophy, science, art, religion, etc. In no way are we willing to continue accepting the gossip of hallucinating people or the madness of dreamers. Truly, the subjective clairvoyant transfers his dreaming consciousness to the wakeful state in order to see his own projected dreams in others. These projected dreams change according to the dreamer's mood. In the past, we have been able to confirm that when some pseudo-clairvoyant agreed with all our ideas and concepts, he would then see us as angels or gods. Thus, he would praise us and even adore us. Nevertheless, when he changed his concept, when the pseudo-clairvoyant became enthusiastic about some new school, when he read some book that appeared marvelous to him, when he listened to some lecturer who came to town, when he resolved to change organizations or schools, he would then accuse us of being black magicians, and would see us as demons, etc. This demonstrates that these pseudo-clairvoyants are only dreamers who see their own dreams projected in the astral light. Those who really want to reach the ineffable heights of true and legitimate clairvoyance must be extremely careful of the danger of self-deception, and submit themselves to authentic esoteric discipline. Reality. The true and legitimate clairvoyant, the one who has achieved superconsciousness, never presumes of being a clairvoyant, never goes about saying so. When he gives advice, he does it without implying that it is based on his clairvoyance. All Gnostic sanctuaries must be careful of those people who praise themselves and call themselves clairvoyant. All Gnostic sanctuaries must carry out the greatest of vigilance to protect themselves against the spectacular pseudo-clairvoyants who, from time to time, appear on the scene to slander and discredit others, assuring us that so-and-so is a sorcerer, that so-and-so is a black magician, that so-and-so is fallen, etc. It is urgent to comprehend that no authentic turiya has pride. Indeed, all those who say I am the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene, John the Baptist, Napoleon, etc., are proud fools, deluded pseudo-clairvoyants, foolish idiots. We are nothing but miserable particles of dust, horrible worms of the mud, before the formidable and glorious majesty of the Father. What I am stating is neither allegorical or symbolic. I am speaking literally, brutally, of a formidable reality. Really, it is the I that says, I am master such and such, reincarnation of prophet so-and-so, etc. Certainly, the animal I is Satan. It is the I, the devil ego, that feels itself to be a master, Mahatma, hierophant, prophet, etc. Consciousness, subconsciousness, and superconsciousness. Consciousness, subconsciousness, and superconsciousness can be summarized into one thing: human consciousness. It's necessary to awaken the consciousness. Whoever awakens the consciousness becomes superconscious, reaches the heights of superconsciousness, becoming a true illuminated clairvoyant, a turiya. It is urgent to convert the subconscious into consciousness, and totally awaken the consciousness. It is necessary for the totality of the consciousness to become absolutely awakened. Only the person who has the totality of his consciousness awakened is a true clairvoyant, an illuminated one, a turiya. The so-called infraconsciousness, unconsciousness, and subconsciousness, etc., are only different forms, or zones, of the sleeping consciousness. It is urgent to awaken the consciousness in order to become an illuminated one, a clairvoyant, a superconscious one. The 6 fundamental dimensions. Beyond the 3 known dimensions, length, width, and height, exists the 4th dimension. This is time. Beyond time, we have the 5th dimension. This is eternity. However, we assure you that beyond eternity there exists a 6th dimension, which is beyond eternity and time. Total liberation begins in the 6th fundamental dimension. Only the one who awakens in all 6 fundamental dimensions of space is a true clairvoyant, a turiya, a legitimate, illuminated one.